Hi, all you SPMEs out there. Today's topic has 3 answers, and the third one is a secret you're going to want to stick around for, because I'm going to tell you the one issue that separates the winners and the losers in self-publishing. So let's get into it. Today we're going to discuss how I sold over 40,000 books self-publishing. Now, by the end of this video, you're going to know exactly all of the mistakes that I made during the process of my self-publishing journey so that you can have the knowledge and the steps necessary in order to replicate it for yourself. And you're going to feel fantastic about that when you see how simple this whole process can be. So let's get into it. I'm Chris Baird from selfpublishingmadeeasynow.com, where self-publishing doesn't have to be so hard. Hit the subscribe button if you'd like for me to make more videos like this one, and check out below in the description where I break down step by step the 7 key steps to getting your book self-published and selling. So, how I sold over 40,000 books self-publishing? Well, let me tell you a little bit about my story. Well, I originally started and I thought maybe self-publishing would work well for me. Well, let me just cut to the chase. After a period, I reached a point where I was even considering selling, trading in Mexican pesos because it didn't work. But let's get on with the story here. When I first put my books on the market and I followed through the very easy steps of putting a Kindle book onto the market, I assumed that maybe it would just sell immediately, that I should start seeing those sales coming in. I could not have been more wrong. After a year of this and failing at getting the sales, I was excited that people were reading my material and they enjoyed the books. I was getting positive feedback, but I simply was not getting the sales that I was hoping to get. And so that led me to think maybe self-publishing is a losing endeavor. Maybe you sell a couple books here and there, but otherwise the golden age is over and you're not going to really be able to make a killing at it any longer. So that was when I considered going into the peso trading markets, only to see that this analysis of the graphs was completely chaotic. It didn't make any sense whatsoever. And at the same time, I was in contact with my friend Vincent, and he informed me of a course on Amazon ads at the time. And I had never taken any courses, really. I hadn't done any investments. I thought I could do it the cheap way, which is just figure it out yourself. Like everything else, you just figure it out, except when it comes to self-publishing, like many other things, it's not a good idea to figure it out yourself. In fact, you're going to need to try a lot of stuff, but without the right strategies, you're going to lose. Well, let's cut right to it. When I took this Amazon course on running ads, I started to see the sales go up. But the important part was not so much that the sales and how much I was selling was going up. It was the fact that it had taught me something very important. And this is something you're going to want to try yourself. You may also have the same thing. I had the mindset that I could figure it out myself, but it taught me that other people who have done it before, they can bring all sorts of stuff to the table that can help you make sure you succeed. So after a period of time, I ended up taking additional courses, and each time I learned new strategies. I became part of communities where people were sharing freely the strategies in order to win at self-publishing, and I started seeing my sales going from 1 to 2 to jumping 10, 20 sales a day. It was absolutely amazing. And so I started coming through that, and the thing is with this huge jump in sales, I suddenly realized, and that was when I came to the revelation, which is you can, in fact, win at this game. And since that point, we've seen a little over 40,000 sales. I realized when choosing the right niches and going into it, I simply didn't have the time to write all of these books on all of these things. And that is even part of the strategy, which is you write books on the things you're interested in. You can hire other people to write books on other topics. And by optimizing those books, you're able to get the sales going and the machine keeps going. You're putting it into new markets. And to this very day, I am trying new strategies on the self-publishing business in order to see if I can even get them even higher than the great results that I've already seen. So How I sold over 40,000 books self-publishing. Let's get into a couple of the key answers. Little takeaways from the story here. The first is that you need to choose the right market. If you're in the wrong market, you're going to lose, okay? But in order to choose the right market, you need to know the skill, how exactly to go about choosing that, and that's where being part of communities can be helpful. I also help people on a regular basis here on this channel and through coaching. You can check out below in my description if you'd like more information on any of that. In addition, number two, you need to optimize your books. You can expect that you're not really going to sell any books if you have a poor cover, your title is bad, your description is terrible, and the contents of your book are not put together in a very logical way that's built upon selling those books. We're not talking about the information itself even. We're just saying the organization of the information that is more important than the content itself. Now, the content matters because we need to ensure that your readers are going to be happy with what you're selling. But otherwise, the other aspects actually matter more. If you have a poor cover, it doesn't matter because they'll never buy your book in the first place. So you need to make sure that these things are optimized. And then finally, that you're running ads. You have a marketing campaign and you're paying money to try to get the sales on your book. I tried going cheap, do it for free, and you end up getting nothing. So sometimes it takes that investment. You have to think of it like a seed. You have to put it in the ground and wait for it to grow. We're throwing away one seed in order that we can get a lot more seeds from that single seed. And this is exactly the concept of costs. We take on costs in order to get a large return on our investment. So that's a very, very important point that lots of people miss completely. So your books are not optimized. And the third step and the secret step of the day that differentiates the losers and the winners, it is that you need to repeat this over and over. Do not jump into something else. Like I was ready to jump into Mexican pesos. That would have been a huge mistake. I know nothing about it. Plus, the person who was teaching it, their methods were just chaotic. They were drawing lines here and lines there and telling you can see a ceiling and a floor. It was just chaos. So I would definitely not recommend going into that or anything else. The self-publishing business is a fantastic model that can work for you. You just have to stick with it and learning new strategies. For example, subscribing to this channel will help you better find more of the strategies that you're going to need in order to succeed and win at your self-publishing business. So I hope that was helpful in terms of learning how I sold 40,000 books and the key strategies involved. What have you found? How many books have you sold? I'd be very interested to hear what your successes are and maybe what strategies you found below in the comments. And look up above me here for more video answers to your self-publishing questions. Thanks.